Painting goo 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 goo. Paintingu. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo. I'll let the little bitch keep going for a minute. Finger them keys, you little furry fuck. Goo 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 goo. Painting goo goo. Painting goo goo. Right, enough of you. Back in your hole, you little shit, and take your fake piano with you. All of you will know that any tips you placed in the bowl, they all go to me. Welcome to Paintingu, Brother Elfu, Brother Griffu, Brother Demon Hunter Beru, the Backstout Beru. How are you? Are you where? On this gloriously bright day. No need for synthetic light. When the heavenly light itself shines down upon me, here in my humble hovel, where I perform for you on this fine day, Thor's day, the day of Thor, the day of more. More things to do, more stresses, more joy, more things to be grateful for. Hope you're all brushing. Hope you're all being good, true, and beautiful. If you haven't gathered your chi, best do it now, because we're getting straight in. We're going to dive right in. We shall dive right in. Where's my demons? For I wish to dance. Blasted advertisements. You're lucky I have gathered my chi, for I contain many comebacks for the likes of ye. Skippe, I wish ye. Be gone from my sight, frivolous advertisements. They have no place on PEINTEINGU, for they have no honor. You faggot! That wasn't a backflip. The nerve to attempt gymnastic routines on PEINTEINGU in a vain attempt to acquire some sort of clout or attention. And people are here to hear the sultry tones of my voice and to witness the glory of the PEINTEINGU. They are not here to indulge in such things as buying new sets of skis. Honorable golden ale consumed. Hey, hey, hoax, and high fives, degenerates. You are the only degenerate here, you Australian fuck you. I haven't started painting your Vegemite jar quite yet. I still have many projects to complete. But as I said, you're on the list. Paint. Where's my white? Paint. Hi. First Rikaru. Griffu is reminding everybody that you do not want to take... I fucked that one up. You don't want me to engage with Garlos in a negative way. And I will engage with Garlos in a negative way the second he realizes people aren't liking and subscribing. Paint. Don't make me get the tiger out. Demon Hunter Beru also on the Rikaru Reminderoo. California reporting in for duty. Thirdu. See, literally all the bears are the opposite of degenerate. They have the honor to Reich immediately. What's the first thing the Australian did? Announce that he consumed alcohol. These things are obvious. If you pay attention, you will realize that the little sprite/elf is only damaging himself. I can't remember if you explained why you got arrested over the holidays. Although I was fascinated about your car crash. I was just picturing someone just having a horrific car crash in the middle of like an open savanna road or some shit, like, you know. You know those roads that you'd see in like Texas or the outback of Australia where it's just like sand and asphalt for fucking hundreds of miles, like just one road, like, you know, like 2 gas stations every 300 miles or some shit, like, and just like picturing you like before you looked like nothing but skin and bone. Like the car crash, like, was the car crash also why you lost some of your teeth? Because that's like that's another level of car crash. Where like, yeah, I had a collapsed lung. I had, like, you know, my diaphragm was fucked up. My pelvis, like all this shit, like all that makes sense because like you're going 100 kilometers an hour and your wheel pops and you go fucking headfirst into a gum tree. I can only imagine the impact of the steering wheel. Like, even if your seatbelt manages to lock you to the chair, which I'm guessing you weren't wearing a seatbelt because you're Australian, but like, even if your seatbelt did lock you to the chair like it's supposed to, that would still cause some sort of, like, you know, damage to your diaphragm and chest, depending on the speed of the impact and shit. Like, but considering how horrifically you were injured, I'm guessing you weren't wearing a seatbelt and you just like went chest. You basically body checked the fucking steering wheel out of it. Like, but if all of your teeth came out at the same time, I want somebody to animate that fucking car crash. Like, you fucking crash your car so bad that you wake up in hospital not just with traumatizing injuries, but no teeth. Paint. Oh, God. Rob can't stay, but I wanted to pop in and squirt my greeting on the wall. Well, you have gained yourself much honor, Max Doutu. Much honor indeed. Happy painting. My paintings tend to be a mixture of emotions. There's happiness, horror, righteous justice. Paint. Sheer madness. A litany of offenses, depending on how soft your core is. Your short presence is welcomed, Max Bear. Your presence, however brief, was much appreciated. Slash the like button. I'd love to be able to create a little fucking, like I was saying on the other streams, like I want to fucking get better at, I want to get better at things like, you know, putting like little animations and stuff and little logos and shit on the stream. And I think it'd be deadly if like every time somebody hit the like button, like a little ninja came out of nowhere and cut something in half. It'd be fucking deadly. Like that's the sort of thing. That's where I want this stream to go. Is like, I wouldn't mind it looking a bit mental on screen, like a little bit. Like it wouldn't be overwhelming. Most things wouldn't be there until they show up and then they disappear. You know, it's not like I'd have a load of fucking mad clickable shit on screen all the time or whatever, or even just stuff being animated. Like, but like I'd love to have Garlos as an animation eventually. And I like, you know, I already have fucking the logo that comes up of Hugh the Hum. Because I have so many, like that's one of the many things that I've actually like that I really have passion for is character design, and I kind of get to do that on PEINTEINGU, and like PEINTEINGU is giving me like an avenue to direct that form of my creative energies and shit. But like I can't focus on character design; it's not going to make me money. You know what I mean? Like big, impressive, symmetrical paintings that catch the eye, that I can put on merch and stuff, that has made me money and is making me money and will continue to make me money. And then people donate on stream or whatever. But like, that's where I want this to go, is like, I want the stream to be like as entertaining. Like, I want it, like Brickfinger, Brickfinger Auto or whatever his fucking name is. I think it's hilarious the way everybody has like multiple pseudonyms. It's like AKA Brickfinger, AKA Auto, AKA fucking, like, even me, like, Alex, a.k.a. Defender Bear, a.k.a. Defenderoo. Oh, hold on, that's water, that's not coffee. I was talking to him on Instagram, and he was like, I love your show, it's brilliant, I love your vibe. And it's like, I fucking love the South African accent, it's one of the best ones, like, you speak Afrikaans, bro. I adore it, it's one of my favourite accents. And it's like really similar to like the New Zealand accent, which like is mad when you think about it. Like I think South Africans and Australians and New Zealanders sound like really similar. Is that just me, or is there an obvious reason for that? It's probably the whole Commonwealth thing, isn't it? But anyway, he was saying like that he called it a show, and that's what I want it to be. You know, like obviously it is kind of like just like a modern form of entertainment. It's a combination of podcasting. I just like rant and talk shit. I look hilarious, which is just like a passive buff on the like on the stream is the fact that I'm dressed like this. Like you well know that's the one random person who commented that was like, how is this not racist? Was based purely on how I look right now. Not anything I said, not anything I fucking painted. My appearance alone is going to be offensive to some people. That's probably why I haven't blown up. Like, I'm in this weird, like, algorithmic den or, like, fucking, like, neglected zone. And I've checked it out and all. Like, apparently there is, like, obviously I've heard of, like, shadow bannings and shit like that. Like, but I thought that only happened to people who are already established. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, this person isn't going with the current narrative or the current thing. Like, we're going to have to, like, you know, kind of brush them under the carpet sort of thing, like, you know. But, like, I'm a nobody.
And I've already started to notice things where I'm like, am I like intentionally being like put in a box where like, because I'll get like the same amount of views every time on TikTok for weeks now. And I know what that's like. It's weird. And it's only since I started doing this stream all the time. Because, like, I've put up just like one of my paintings and it's gotten like 4,000 views or something. I put up another one, it gets like 1,000, you know? And I've been doing this like 3 years. And I was like starting to notice my Instagram and my TikTok and all like taking off a bit. And I was getting loads of like random interactions on Facebook and shit like that. Like, and then the second I start doing this on the regular, it's like the internet was like, no, 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 no. Like, no, 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 no. Which is funny because, like, if you look at my, I've uploaded a few episodes to Rumble, and like they're monetized. So I'm like, so what's the crack there? Like, shout out to Rumble. I haven't made a fucking fraction of a cent yet, but like, it says they're monetized. On YouTube, like, more than half of them get like a copyright shit because I play music and stuff. Like, it's fucking hilarious. Like, I genuinely think it's funny. I do turn around to the females sometimes and I'm like, is it just like, do you know what I mean? Like, am I like getting some weird form of imposter syndrome where I'm like, you know, I'm being like, you know, suppressed because PEINTEINGU is so awesome, and it's not that at all. Because like I keep looking at it being like, that's fucking weird. And then I'll show her and she's like, yeah, that is fucking weird. Like, and then I hear on TikTok, it's like that there are things like that where you can just get like algorithmically locked into a certain pigeonhole thing where like your videos just won't break a certain threshold. And that's what it looks like. It's so weird. Like on Instagram and TikTok for weeks now, it's just been like, my videos do not break a certain number of hits. But I'm still like, here's the weirdest part. Despite that, I'm still getting like 1 or 2 new followers like every week or two. And they're real people. They're not like random bots and stuff. Like I still get the occasional like fucking, all these like random chat rooms with fucking like, you know, OnlyFans style things being like, you've been invited to this room by this person and all. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And it's just a load of dudes following this one bitch in a bikini. I'm just like, fucking hell, like, leave this group. Fucking block this person. Like, the amount of times I've been like, would you like to sell our jewelry? Like, and the thing starts off with like, you know, that fucking like copy and paste bullshit where it's like, hi, we really like your content and we'd like to propose you this offer. And it's like, you really like my art and you want me to advertise your jewelry? How does that jive? Like, have you seen what I paint? Like, what, you want me to sell your fucking Hello Kitty battle axes, do you? Like, oh my god, like, some of this shit I like. That's why I have so much respect for Owen. I have done a fraction of what that chap has done in terms of like having a stream, right? And I've already experienced some weird stuff, some straight up just like, you know, where you're like, okay, that's just like fucked, like what the fuck, like, you know. I've already experienced it. And like, no, fuck all people know about me. And I like it that way. I like the way it's just us for the moment. Because I have a feeling that one of these days I'm going to randomly blow up and I'll have to like fight off like a load of demons. Like the band fan, like the band fan will be blowing all stream. I'll just be like, you get out of here, you get out of here, you fucking, like, be gone, all of you. Like, I can see it coming, you know? Like, do you guys not think it's a little bit weird that we don't even get like the elf? The elf is literally like the first randomer to come across in like weeks that has just showed up and like whatever about showing up, liking it and staying. But how come we don't get a lot of people showing up and going, oh, this is so offensive, and then I just like block them where they leave? How come I don't get a lot of spam bots that are just like spamming nigger in the chat? or like clickbait and stuff. Like, do you know what I mean? Like even like big streams get that if they're not moderated correctly. Like, so like I don't understand why I'm not just getting spammed out of it with a lot of random stuff. Like it's literally like I've managed to get a little corner of the internet, and like nobody comes here. Which it's like a pub. It's like Owen's thing. Like it's like the saloon. Like it's like, right, lads, painting it was on, and like 12 people just go up to this shed. like, that's it's funny because that's what I wanted, but it's also weird to be like, what does it mean? Do you know what I mean? Like, I wonder if I have some CIA guy watching me once a week, just being like, yeah, nah. Like, I thought about that this morning while I was making me coffee. I was like, am I being algorithmically pushed aside because normies would like this? Paint. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, is that what's happening? Like, is it because, like, most people wouldn't find this offensive? Most people would come on here and think this is fucking hilarious. I mean, look at the rabbit. He's killing the sunflower. And Swamp Thing is recording it. It brings me joy, and I painted it. I'm not being, like, you know what I mean? I don't think that's a mad narcissistic thing to say. Like, I didn't plan this. The hat did. Blame me. I just sound like a lunatic hermit or some shit. Like, you know? And I won't lie, I actually kind of like it. Paid. I can't deny that. Like, I actually, like, there's a large part of me that really likes how this is going. Because it's like, I'm not doing this to make a load of money. Like, you know, if anything, I'm like, literally the only thing I'm kind of have an agenda about with this stream is like, I want my art to get out there, you know? I see it as a way of like marketing myself in a entertaining and like mostly moral manner. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel bad when I smoke on stream. Like, do you know what I mean? Like I'm trying to be a good boy. Like, well, I'm gonna turn the light on because the glorious light of heaven is gonna leave us in a minute. I just know it. Oh. Much better. Beautiful. Right, the local military showed up, as they usually tend to do when there's kaiju involved. I'll try and get this a bit closer. I suppose I could just move the laptop closer. Because what I was doing there is going to make me extremely uncomfortable. Like, seriously, if you guys saw my setup, like, ask like Scouse Bear. I was gonna say Scouse Man. Scouse Bear and Stuntman Bear, like, they've been here and all. Like, they know what my setup is like. So fucking humble, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not far off like what Owen has. Like, at least Owen has like a shelf with stuff, like, you know what I mean? But it's the same. It's just a laptop. Well, I do have an Ethernet cable. I haven't beat there. I'm trying to get a better framing on this thing. Because there's small details in it now, so I want you to be able to see them. Yeah, put it over here. Yeah, okay. I'm not, like, taking advantage of how good this laptop really is. And I think it's because I started off using a pretty kind of crappy one. And it was like, you know, like, pretty crappy camera and all. And I was using Wi-Fi. Like, I was using my mobile data for how long? How long was I using my fucking mobile data to do this stream? Like, it was fucking crazy. Like, the fact that I was, like, I said it so many times, I was like, the fact that PEINTEINGU actually works. And, like, when I was doing Bear Banter all the time and all, like, having conversations with people, like on the other side of the fucking realm, just on my mobile phone, like, trying to, like, you know, has, like, 8 megs a second or some shit like that. I was astonished sometimes how we actually managed to even have a conversation that, like, didn't look all robot-y and fucking like cut out constantly and shit. Like, but then it started to rear its ugly head after a while. Like, can we all have a vote? I would like type 1 in the chat if you think I should just refer to Demon Hunter Bear as Desmond do from now on. Because like it's fucking hilarious. Desmond, welcome to PEINTEINGU. Who's Desmond do? Like, oh fuck it. I love the way everything just gets an ooh. Like Joe Gagan comes in and it's just like, peddler welcome. Like, oh, it brings me so much joy. The alcohol helped with the pain. Yup, was just one rando blown tire and a rando fucking tree. Like the world spited me. It was meant to happen. Like you were like something about your life was going a particular way, and like the way you are now, like, do you mean, like, I'm telling you that, like, something like that doesn't happen to you for no reason. Do you know what I mean? Like, you needed to be either humbled in some way or you needed to learn some sort of lesson at that time, and like your guardian angels were just like, yeah, fuck it, like, let him hit the tree, you know, like, because I think that's how it works. I think demons are constantly trying to fuck you, and I think demons are constantly trying to influence you to make bad choices, but at the same time your guardian angels are trying to influence you to make good choices, and that's why you have free will. That's how it works. Like, they probably place bets on like what choice you're going to make all the time. Do you know what I mean? Like, you make a good choice and like one of the demons is like, no, because he invested so much in you making that particularly bad choice, you know. So like, you don't know if like making good choices ends up causing a demon to like commit suicide. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's how I look at things. It's like no matter, even if like your choice is to not eat a chocolate bar. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, no, I'm not going to indulge. I'm going to be better. You know, I'm going to eat an apple or a banana, or I won't eat. I'll fucking just have a glass of water. You know what I mean? Like, you're just making a better option for so many reasons, you know? And like, what if even that small, seemingly benign choice to something that's trying to like kill you on a spiritual level is like incredibly wounding? Like, imagine, like, if it's that, like, I could see it being that weirdly simple but also highly sophisticated, where like they genuinely have like their own version of Wall Street, where there's whole fucking, you know, systems based on the decisions mortals make and how that energy is transferred. And like demons and angels, like, if they don't actually have wars and fight over it, maybe they did at one point, but now they fight like we do here. You know, maybe that's one of the reasons why the timeline down here is the way it is, because the timeline up there has changed. Like, what if the last time they had a celestial battle, a lot of angels and a lot of demons died, and they don't necessarily want to do that again. So this time the celestial battle is very dewy. Like, do you know what I mean? They're like, it's all based on rhetoric and wit and being clever and having hustle, you know, which I like. All those things, like, apart from like, you know, like, I have intellect, I can be creative, and I'm quite quick, but I wouldn't consider myself like a very smart. Well, like, not smart. Like, I am smart, but like, I wouldn't consider myself like, I don't have hustle. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't have an ounce of hustle. I don't have an ounce of Jew in me, and it is a disadvantage. I'm bad at making money. You know, I'm good at making stuff that has the potential to make a lot of money, but I am not good at just making money. You know, like, there's people who are really good at making profit out of fucking anything. They could literally, like sayings like, oh, that chap could sell fucking sand to a nigger. Like, do you know what I mean? Or that chap could sell fucking ice to an Eskimo. You know, it's like, I couldn't do that because I'd feel like I was lying to you. You know, and I have a fucking intense visceral reaction to deception now because of my life experience. So like, I'm not good at that shit. I'm not good at like selling myself to you. I'm the type of guy where I just do my thing and people like walk past my hut and like the place is kicking and everybody's having a good time and they're like, oh, I wonder what these niggas are doing. It's always been like that, you know? People just like are drawn to me. And I've always liked that. But it's dangerous. Because like I'm the type of guy that like I have no problem fucking up a stranger depending on the rules of engagement or like whatever trespass they've made. But I've always been terrible at fighting my friends. I've gotten way better at it over the years. But like my weaknesses are like I don't have an ounce of hustle and I'm loyal to a fault. That kind of thing. If you don't know your weaknesses and you only know your strengths, then you don't know shit. Don't get me wrong, I know my weaknesses and my strengths, and I still don't know shit in a lot of ways, but like, you get where I'm going. I did wear a seatbelt and I broke it on impact and it's rated for 5 tons. Oh my god, you hit that tree so hard and fast that your seatbelt snapped. Holy shit. If I wasn't a blacksmith, I'd be dead. So were you like... You were like built and solid, and then that happened to you, and now you look like a fucking meth head, and you lost all your teeth. That's crazy, man. That's so much trauma. Shirley Delta Baru, welcome. I'm gonna call you. Right, we need to take a vote on nicknames. Is Demon Hunter Bear just going to be referred as Desmundu, and is Shirley Delta Bear just going to be referred to as Delta Beru? I need to make some of them shorter. Because I like calling everyone out. You know? But we can't be having like, welcome to PEINTEINGU, Shirley Delta Beru. Like, I mean, I can do it, but like, I'll fuck it up so much. Paint. I love Euro, Asiatic, Japan, fusion foods. What, you mean like Chinese food? I was built like an immortal. That's fucking hilarious. South African gents say the same slang being Aussie. Yeah, I've heard, like, they sound so similar. My dad also spent 5 years in South Africa. It's cool. It's a place I'd love to visit. Like, not just South Africa, but like Africa in general. I'd love to visit Africa. Africa, Japan, China. Like, literally, like, I would visit many states in the United States. But it's funny because like the female is like, oh, I want to go to New York. That's the last place I want to go. The place looks like a shithole. I know what I live in Ireland. I've lived here in Ireland my whole fucking life. And when I'm in Dublin city centre, we call it town. Like we don't even call it the city centre. Like most people refer to Dublin city centre as town. That's how you know Ireland is small. Like. Relative to other places, like, oh, you going to town, are you? Like, that's our city centre. Like, one of many, anyway. But, I just think it's, like, I know how dirty cities are. And ours is fairly small, comparatively, you know? Ours is fairly small. Now, when you're there, obviously, if you're a fucking average-sized human being, when you're in Dublin, like, it's fucking huge. It spans, like, a large amount of area. But like, it's filthy. It's grimy and it's filthy and it's full of scumbags and homeless people and like a lot of the social obstacles and fucking problems we face are just like blatantly on display. It's not a beacon of like hope and progress and moral stability. Like, do you know what I mean? It's a everyday reminder of how fucked everything is on a fucking realm-wide scale. Like. And when the female is like, oh, I'd love to go see New York, that's all I can imagine is just Dublin on a way larger scale. And that doesn't appeal to me at all. I don't want to fucking, like, I do get how the temptation of the scope of the place. Like the buildings are huge, everything's huge. There's a shit ton of people. Like there's that hum, there's that buzz, that activity of like so many people doing so many different things all at the same time in the one place. I get it. A lot of electricity, a lot of energy, like, but it's dirty energy, and like I don't like that kind of energy. I feel way more at home in like a gaff party. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm way more suited to like village living. Do you know what I mean? Like that's one of the reasons why I love the idea of Bartaria so much. I'm like, yeah, you can totally do that. Is a lot of work? Yes. Are you going to come across a lot of issues because cunts like to wreck things? Yes. Is it worth it? Definitely. Do you know? Paint. People will go out of their way to be offended on behalf of nobody. Meanwhile, there's a random silent Japanese guy going, "This guy gets it." Oh man, like how funny would it be if like I blew up on like Asian TikTok or some shit? Like, if I started to blow up in Japan, it'd be so fucking cool. It'd be so funny. Could you imagine like some Japanese company got like wanted to make little toys of me? Like, admit it. If you could get a bobblehead of me on your fucking for your truck, like Griff, admit it. You would love a bobblehead of me, just like in the kimono and all. Like, paint. Oh, Denmark Barrow, welcome to PEINTEINGU. Has your PEINTEINGU arrived? Has your PEINTEINGU arrived yet? I hope you're happy with it. It was hilarious when I painted it. Like everybody when I painted that so long ago. I painted that before the Jort Wars. That's how long that painting is sitting there, Denmark Bear. Fucking like that was painted. I'm almost 100% sure that was painted before the Jort Wars. That's how long that's sitting there. And I remember turning around the time I was like, I need to start talking to this nigga so he doesn't think I'm weird because I've randomly painted him a painting. It was so funny, like. It was also the last time that Scouse Bear asked me to put a big black cock on one of my paintings. The only reason you're here, Elf, is because I have a top knot. Oh, I love it. Happy New Year, Denmark Bear. Did you have a good holiday? Yeah, YouTube's algorithm is already so gated in. It is, yeah. It's funny though, like I've had it right. Like what makes it even more apparent that I'm like randomly, well, probably not randomly, but I'd say it's random. I'd say because of the nature of the system. Like, you know, they just write a line of code, and if my stream hits a certain criteria, I just get shoehorned into a different section. Like that's more than likely what it is. I don't think there's some actual person sitting in front of a laptop watching PEINTEINGU going, "This is so offensive." Click, click. Like, I don't think it's that at all, you know? That's the whole point of coming up with systems, is to, you know, broadcast, broad spectrum solve problems. You come up with a line of code that just fucking hits all these different criteria and shit, like. And I totally like hit that shit. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I totally fucking like. People probably look at this thing and they're like, "Oh my god, no way!" Like, paint. I get it. Like, okay, so from now on, we're just calling Demon Hunter Bear Desmondu. Agreed. Oof! Like Elf voted no. Oh, that's hilarious. I did everything right. The world attacked me. Are you? Is that why you're a spiteful elf? You're still bitter about the intensely traumatizing car crash you had a few years ago. Oh my god, man! I can't imagine what that was like. Hitting a tree at 100 kilometers an hour. You hit a tree so fast that your seatbelt snapped. Jesus Christ! Oh fucking hell! Making money is easy if it's all you care about. Yeah, and I couldn't give a fuck. Like, I've had to learn this. because I'm in a relationship with, Wishy Bear. We're committed. We want to have a family. We want our own, we want to have, the Bartaria kind of life. That's the decision I made a few years ago. I was like, right, yeah, that's what I want, The first time I ever heard fucking, to build a home, and, I think it was a Wobbly Bear video, and it was, all the images of, the fucking, Owen's family and shit, and, stuff they were doing and all, and, I was standing in my room. I think it was summer or some shit. I was standing in my room, topless, sweating buckets because of the heat, and I was doing one of my symmetrical paintings, and I was feeling great about life. I was like, finally, I've finally gotten it together, and I'm starting to make progress, And I don't know what gods or God saw it fit to put that in my life at that moment. But I watched that video to build a home, and I bawled my eyes out. I bawled my eyes out crying. I was like, that's what I want. I'm getting upset thinking about it, because that's what made me change everything around. I was like, I have a beautiful female and she loves me. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, fuck this shit, and I was like, that's what I want. I want kids. I want a good life. I want a moral life. And I didn't get that. Everything got fucked up for me. And I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one. That's why I have the attitudes I have. I'm not arrogant. I'm not bitter. I'm not any of these things. I know I'm not the, there's always a bigger fish. There's always somebody who's had a worse situation than you, And I saw it. I was like, I have talent. I can make shit with my bare hands and very limited materials, and people like it and people will buy it. If I don't do this, if I was God, I would be so pissed at me. I'd be like, you ungrateful little shit. I gave you every opportunity. I gave you every advantage. Yes, everybody in your vicinity fucked up a lot of things, and it hurts. But it's it's on me. It's on you. It's on you to fucking, make your life better. Do you know what I mean? You can't just sit there and be like, oh, my life's shit because of this. No, your life's shit because you're weak. If you it doesn't matter what has happened to you. Anything that happens to you is an opportunity for you to be an absolute badass. The worse the shit is that happens to you, all that does is give you an opportunity to be incredibly powerful. It's not something to sit around and be like, oh God, since that happened to me, things have been so bad. It's no, since that happened to you, you've chosen to fucking just be a little bitch about it, But if you don't do that, if something hits you harder than you've ever been hit before, it brings you to your knees where you're you have no idea how you're going to continue, what am I going to do? How am I going to do it? I don't know shit. I don't know what to do. I'm demoralized. I've no fucking direction in life. Any of these fucking things, you find yourself in a pit with no way out. Look up. Have faith. That's how I got out. I had faith. Just in general, whether it be faith in me or my abilities or the people around me. I just had faith. I don't know what God is. If it's a he, if it's a she, or if it's an it, or a thing, or a fucking... I haven't got a fucking clue, but I believe in something. At least I do now. And I have done for years. And I'm here now doing this. And everyone has their own journey to go on, And Owen's right to feel genuinely fucking sorry for and hope that, your man, that camera fucker fucking gets his shit together. That is the right way to go about it. Because it doesn't serve anyone to to be like, yeah, I hope he gets even worse. Do you know what I mean? I've been there. I've had vivid... I've a vivid imagination. I have had vivid fucking dreams where I brutally murder many members of my family because of the intense sense of betrayal and hatred I felt at a young age. All it did was destroy me. All it did was make me bitter. All it did was fill my heart full of poison and therefore fill my blood and my body full of just constant pain. And now now I find myself in more physical pain than I ever have before on the daily, whether it be my back or my posture or my fucking teeth or all these fucking things. Does it stop me from getting up and having a laugh? No. You want to know why? Because I believe in shit getting better if you get up and fucking do shit about it. I could just lie in that bed, do nothing, rely on my female to bring in an income, go back on the fucking welfare. I could just do fuck all. But I'm here and I'm trying. You should too, if you're not already. But I know more than, if not everybody here, is kicking ass. Because we're in the bear community. And there is no community better than the bear community. I will make that claim. I will make that claim. Best community on the fucking internet. Surely Delta Bear wants to be called Stibby? No, it has to end in an ooh and it has to be funny. And it has to make sense, because I don't know why you want to be called Stibby. Make a nice, warm grey. Finish off this aircraft carrier. If I don't read all your messages, Elf, I'm sure you're going to be okay with it. But, like, I'm not reading all that. Not when there's loads of people here. When it's just you and me, nigga, fair enough. Paint. It hasn't arrived yet? I figured because you're in Denmark that it might take a while. It's fucking weird though. I've sent shit and like it's been to the States and it seems to show up really quickly. But if I send shit to like fucking England, it'll fucking take ages to get there and we're right fucking beside them, like. I'm telling you, like, ever since that fucking Brexit shit, there's a fucking stupendous amount of bureaucracy and stuff, like, just to do with fucking getting people's packages to each other. Painting goo. Go for a darker grey. Put some shading on that bitch. Men in my family on the other side of women being nurses. Out. You need to learn how to, like, stop typing so fast, Elf. Sometimes I read your messages and I'm like, Jesus Christ. Before the Great Jort War, eh? Yeah, like, it was ages ago. Fucking ages ago. Tired of these rollerblading payment processors. Want to just get money direct to the legends. I want to support. 5% is acceptable. But the usury online is like tenfold of the real world. I know, it's real annoying, isn't it? Like, that's why I don't like, obviously, like, it's useful. It's a thing of utility for me right now to have some of my, the stuff I've created on Spring. But, like, it's such a, like, yeah, I know, they fucking put my designs on the clothes and then they fucking ship it and all, like, you know, so, like, that costs a lot of money, so it would make sense for them to take quite a large of a cut. But, like, when you actually look at the percentage rate, like, when you look at the ratio, it's kind of like, holy shit, like, that's a lot, like, and that's, like, you know, but it just is what it is, like, do you know what I mean? I've said it for a while now that, like, once I get a bit more stable in my routine and have a lot of designs and stuff sitting there, like, ready to go on, like, because I have stuff there, but I can't get them scanned, because, like, some of the I live in a small town, so I'd have to, like, travel somewhere that has, like, better, like, you know, larger scanning equipment, because it's just, like, the local print shop and stuff like that, like, and the biggest they can do for me is, like, fucking A3 or some shit like that, like, and a lot of the projects I've done, like, you know, they're just on canvases and they're bigger and shit, like, I've even thought about trying to just get a really nice camera so I can take high definition photos, but then you still get glare and shit like that, so I don't know, like, but even that, I mean, like, just figuring out the logistical obstacles of doing what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be an independent artist and content creator, and it's working, but fuck me, there's so many little things that just get in your way in terms of being able to just get your product to people, in terms of being able to just display your product quickly and efficiently for people. You know, it's crazy. Like, it's always like, you know, register for this, sign in here. Oh, we need your fucking details and data, or you need to pay for this or that. Like, do you know what I mean? Which I get in terms of like if you're going to download somebody's editing software, or if you're like, you know, gonna use a platform to do a certain thing or whatever. Like, but it's like with something like Spring, it's like they do provide a service, but in a sense they create their own monopoly, don't they? Like where it's like, oh, like you got an idea you want on a hoodie? Oh, well, we'll do all the heavy lifting for you, but like we'll give you fuck all in return. Like, so it's kind of like, thanks. Like, it doesn't feel like a partnering. It almost feels like I'm kind of selling out a bit, you know? But I've got no other way of like there would be way more work involved in going and buying my own hoodies, getting the correct kind of paint so that I can paint onto fabric, and then doing them myself, which I could do, but then I'd have to charge like way more money for them. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to do that. I don't want people spending like €200 on a hoodie from me. Yeah, it would be like hand painted and shit like that, and there would be a lot of people that would be like, well, because of the quality and because of all the work you put in yourself, I don't mind paying that much money. But like, I don't want it to be like that. I want to have like a streamlined system where like I come out with a hoodie, people can buy it for like 40-50 quid, and like that's it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be really expensive. Do you know? Like, there's people arguing, telling me that I could have sold a few of my symmetrical designs for a few grand. And I'm like, I don't feel like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want people to actually be able to buy my art. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't want people to be like, oh, I can't afford that. Well, I want you to be able to afford it. If you like it. Do you know, isn't that the point? Like, that's what gives me motivation, is when somebody's like, oh, that's really cool looking. And I'm like, do you want it? You know? And they'll be like, oh, I can't afford it. You know? And I'm like, well, like, you know, I could sell it to you at a price you can afford. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's weird because it's art. You know? Like, people have different ways of appreciating art and stuff, like, and I get it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I've been seriously fucking humbled in a lot of ways while doing this. Like, I really have. Like, I knew I was good, but like, I didn't think I was good enough that people like would like really like my stuff, and they do. And I'm like, fuck, I have like, you know, I have a lot of work to do. Like, which I suppose is a good attitude, but like, I just like I knew I was good, but I didn't know I was that good, you know, which I suppose is a welcome surprise. But at the same time, there's the reality of, like, in my opinion, responsibility. You know, it's almost like when people start behaving as if I'm this good, it's like, well, I better be that good then in reality, shouldn't I? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and so like I had the symmetrical I'm doing at the moment, because it's smaller than the last one I sold. Part of me was like, it's not big enough. You know? It's not grand enough. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, but it still looks cool, you know? Part of me is like, still struggling with like getting used to actually being able to do this, you know? Like, actually being able to own my own business and it's all just like my stuff. Like, when I see like Sleep Deprived wearing my t-shirts, or fucking Bowron Bear wearing my hoodies, or like I've designed logos for people, like, you know, like I can do this shit. And sometimes it's like, whoa, I didn't know I could do this shit. like I could draw. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've been doodling since I was knee high to a grasshopper. But I didn't ever think I'd be designing people's logos for them. Like, I certainly never thought that I'd be doing a fucking Bob Ross fucking like Bob Ross on acid fucking like. I never thought I'd be doing some shit like this, and I couldn't be more grateful. I love doing this. This is so much fun. Like I genuinely feel like a piece of shit if I don't do painting goo. Like, do you know what I mean? There's times where I'm like, oh, I need to spend a few more hours on my symmetrical painting, like, and I've other stuff to do, and like, there's a bit of stuff to do around the house and all, and should I push painting goo back today? Should I not do it today or whatever? And there's just this like screaming voice in my head being like, no, you must do painting goo. I just think it's hilarious. My holiday was so-so. We went to visit family in France. What part of France? I only recently went to Normandy and it was fucking beautiful. Got picked up at the airport in a Tesla. Okay, so you were immediately disappointed. I love the way that's worded. Like, I got picked up from the airport in a Tesla. Like, that rolled up in front of you and you were like, hey, here we go. Hey. An hour and a half later, my lower back went crack and I had to stay in bed for a day. You old fuck. Do some fucking, practice your Mabu, you lazy bitch. And don't be using your recent heart surgery as an excuse. Like, come on. You're not dead yet, brother. Fucking get flexible again. Fucking, like, I might actually start doing, what did I, stretching goo. Like, I might record my, Qigong routine, and I'll do it, like, in costume. I'd say that'd be a laugh. Some people would just think that's hilarious. But, like, I swear to God, like, that's one of the things that I've kept doing over the years, and it has helped my mental state and my body tremendously. It really has, like, and if you find an excuse to not do Qigong, you are a lazy sack of shit. Because you literally just stand in one place and fucking, like, just assume certain positions for long periods of time. And yeah, it hurts like a cunt. And like you'll start to shake and you'll be sweating bullets. And like you could make the argument, it's like, well, I don't have 45 minutes every fucking day to fucking make time. It is your health. Your health is your wealth. Your lower back wouldn't be such a little bitch boy if you did some fucking horse stance. Practice your Mabu, brother. Like a hunchback with Parkinson's. Being baseline offensive cuts the chaff out of society. Oh, that's hilarious. Send the soldiers home, Defenderoo. God bless the US Postal Service. Yeah, well, the bleeding King's Post or whatever they fucking call it now, the Royal Mail in England is a fucking load of shite from what I can tell. Jawaker Indy Meru. Welcome. You want to call him Stabberoo? Fuck's sake. Henceforth, you shall be known as Stabberoo. Stibiu. Stibiu. Stibiu sounds like some new form of like the first thing that came into my mind there was like a sweetener that's like those things that it's not sugar but it's still sweet like stevia or something. Like you're like fake sweet like Stibiu. Oh. We already have 8 Reichs. Excellent. Excellent. Skip me, lol. Oh, bro, I skip you all the time. Don't you worry. I skip your comments all the time. Don't worry about it. I've figured out your vibe. You're just happy to be here, and I like you. like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm really talkative, but I'm not that quick on a keyboard. What is African food? Like, describe African food to me. You know, what's a common African meal? Yeah, can you legally hunt kangaroos? Or are they like protected? We had this conversation on another stream. Like, would kangaroos, be tasty and stuff like that? Like, and I made the argument that it's like a giant rabbit, so like they probably would be tasty, but they're very lean. You know, like kangaroos are just all muscle. I want to put some shading on the sunflower, make them pop a bit more. Paint. 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 It's funny, like, the difference between trying to shade something when you're just doing, like, black and white with a pencil or some shit like that, and trying to get the varying like depths and different shades of grey, and then in all the way into black and stuff, like, versus if you're just using color, you can give the illusion of shading just by using a different color. Like, I actually find when you're just using paint and you're just using straight color, I actually find it way easier to shade things. And that's something that I didn't think would be the case when I first started, like, taking painting seriously. I say taking painting seriously. As seriously as I take anything. Like, I'm Irish, I can only take things so seriously. Painting, goo goo goo, goo goo. Painting, goo goo goo, goo goo. I feel like it's a horrific waste if I don't occasionally do this. Like, I feel like I don't reach full potential with the top knot unless I actually shake it about. Painting, goo goo. Paint. Need a different bitch. Where's the... Perhaps you? That's one thing I really want to invest in, is, like, really nice, expensive brushes that will more than likely be Japanese in origin. better. I'm going to shade the petals on the sunflower as well. And I have the jets to fill in. And then I'm going to put some cannons and missiles coming off the aircraft carrier and shit like that. Like, the demons have finished dancing and it's time for raving goo. I'm really interested to see how Denmark Bear reacts to raving goo. If he hasn't experienced raving goo already. Because I know there's people that, like, the second I start getting raving goo on, they're like, right, I'm out of here. Get your filthy faces off my screen, you fucking frivolously advertising bitches. I hate you all. This fella looks Jewish as fuck. Right. Him with his gay little hat singing and shit. Like, do you know what he reminded me of there? You know that bitch that fucking Owen went mad at? The fucking Toucan Sam thing? Swear to God, that's the first thing I thought of when that ad came up there. Fucking insanely Jewy looking. And pretending to hold a fucking guitar while not holding a guitar and singing. Royal Mail must be the king's booty boy. It's just gay because it's English. So African food is like similar to like Indian food. That makes sense. They have like a lot of rice and beans and stuff. Like, I do really like that stuff. The female and I went camping one time, and there was this Indian family there. Like, there was fucking loads of them. There was like 12 or 15 of them. Like, big Indian family. Like, and they were so nice. They were like really friendly. Like, but they were kind of stupid because they like either forgot a part or didn't know how to. Like, they tried to put up this gazebo thing, and oh my God, you should have seen it. It was an absolute shit show. It was so bad that like one of the bars was like floating on one of the flaps in the wind and shit. And like, I felt necessary to walk over and be like, here, take that down, because it's like someone's going to get a smack of that, like, and you know, everybody will hate you. Like, and because I tried to like help them with their scenario, because they were all looking at it going, oh fuck, what do we do? Like, and because I went over and talked to them and tried to help, they fucking, one of them came over like later that night. Like, the female and I had already made food for ourselves, and we were just sitting there chilling. And one of the Indian fellas comes over, and he's like, save room for later. And we were like, what do you mean? And he's like, we have food, we want to give you some, so save room for later. And we were like in the middle of eating our food. Like, we were like, oh yeah, no, cool, yeah, sure. Like, and like, you should have seen what he brought. He brought over 2 plates of, like, you know, it was like this beautiful homemade curry and load of rice, and then like 2 things of like naan bread and shit. Like, it was fucking delicious. Like, I would like ended up like having another conversation with him because I was like, bro, like, seriously, thanks, that was like really good, like, and all, like, and they were like, no, thank you, and all. Like, it's so funny how like somebody, like, a lot of people, like a lot of normies could like and have called people like me racist when I'm literally the opposite. I literally like fucking adore other fucking cultures for their differences, because I like new and exciting things. Like, Japanese art is different to Nordic art, but both are really cool. Like, the Japanese gods and their traditional art and lore is fucking really cool, but so is the Greek and Nordic stuff. And like, the Greek stuff is pretty gay. Like, do you know what I mean? Everybody's always half naked and bulging muscles and stuff. Like, do you know? Like, there's just, if you just accept the truth of things, this place is such a beautiful place to live. It's so funny to me, like. You want to do Metlu? If I still have a bit of energy when Raving Goo ends, I'll do a bit of Metlu. I promise.
Excuse me! The legend himself has arrived too.
Right. Right, grey. I need my grey. Painting goo-goo. Painting goo-goo. Painting goo-goo. Painting goo-goo. I don't know what it is about, like, jet fighters. Or is, you know, like, is it just it's one of those, like, boys, like, trucks thing? But I fucking love jet fighters. I think, like, you know, something like an F-16. Or, do you know what my favourite one is? Either the Hind D or the Harrier jump jet. Growing up, they were, like, the coolest fucking thing. One, like, there's, like, when you're growing up, especially as a young man, you have, like, things that you just think are, like, really fucking cool. Like katanas, like ninjas and samurais and stuff like that. Like, jets. Fighter jets were one of my... Like, I think fighter jets are cooler than tanks. Like, I loved tanks and, like, fucking, you know, gun emplacements and big guns and shit. But there's something about jet fighters. Like, just, like, going the speed of sound or more to the point where, like, just flying over something, everybody, like, hits the deck and windows explode. And, like, not only can it go that fast, but it can, like, maneuver in the sky and shit. And it generally has a set of armaments that could level a city. Just, like just the miniguns, just the Vulcan cannons on those things. Like, what are they? Like, fucking 50mm, like, fully automatic auto cannons that, like, you could, like, nearly cut a building in half with those things. Like, it's just terrifying air superiority. Do you know what I mean? Like, it really, like, no wonder the American military had such a stranglehold on the realm for such a long period of time, because if one of those things is in the air and it's not your friend, you are fucked. And they have loads of them. They have a shit ton of them. Like, it's such a terrifying, like, such an intimidating weaponry. Like, do you know what I mean? Something that could, like, level a whole fucking, like, swath, like a town, level at least a town, whatever, about a section of a city. You can absolutely glass a town with one of them. That's fucking terrifying. Like, you know? Like, there's blatantly obvious reasons that we're in the predicaments that we find ourselves in these days. Like, you know? And I think it's hilarious how, like, I find myself independently going through the same realizations as Owen is. Because, like, and I'd say a lot of you are the same, like, because we're in the community and because we're all interested in the same stuff, we're, like, coming to the same conclusions, like, in the same kind of synchronistic way and shit. Like, so, like, I'll think about something weeks or months before he talks about it. And then there's other times where he talks about something and then weeks or months later it, like, happens, or something related to that happens in my own life, like, right in front of me, where it just, like, solidifies this kind of, like, mass consciousness spiritual connection between all of us, where I'm just like, oh no, like, shit's getting real. like what the fuck? It's so cool. Like, it's fucking awesome, man. Like, the saying of, like, nobody's having more fun than us, like, it's so fucking true. It really is. Like, I'm repeatedly and regularly in realization of how grateful I am to be in this community. Which is why I laughed so hard during the Jort Wars. Because, like, when somebody makes themselves out to, when somebody, it doesn't matter who you are, you know? When you make a decision in my presence And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you fucking retard. Like, there's something that clicks in my brain where I'm like, there's only a certain amount of time I'm going to like remain your friend or in contact with you. Like, I'm like that now. I wasn't always like that. Because, like I said, like earlier on in the stream, like, I'm the type of guy that, like, I found it really difficult to confront my friends, like my bros, my homies, because I didn't want to hurt their feelings. And, like, I have the capacity to, like, enrage people. Like, I have the ability to say things where, like, their whole world shatters in their mind, and, like, they have two choices, as far as they're concerned anyway. Either start an argument with me and, like, want to fuck me up, or have a heart-to-heart with me. And, like, they usually choose the former. Actually, there's been plenty of people who choose the latter. And, like, we have a great conversation and get closer and stuff like that. Like, but, like, I've hung around with some people where, if you just said the truth, if you were just real with them, they just want to kick your head in. And it's like, all right, well, you can't really, like, so you just want to fight? What? To prove that what I said was wrong? Like, that doesn't compute. Do you know what I mean? Like, you cannot. It's like what Owen says about, like, you know, oh, you can't just kill all of them, like, because then they get the victim narrative. Well, it's like, you cannot just attack truth physically. Truth just is. So when someone like me says something that's just blatantly true, and your response is a violent one, it's like, all right, well, you deal with that. You know, that's your problem. You know, I live in truth, and, like, people hate you for it. People are so look at you and your high horse. There's nothing wrong with you. And I'm always standing there being like, there's nothing wrong with me. Look at me. Do I look right in the head? Like, look at my face. I've been through some shit. I've made mistakes. Like, for you to think that I'm coming from a high horse position just makes you even more ignorant and retarded. Like, I just find it hilarious. Like, people fuck themselves over so hard, and they don't even realize it, and then blame everyone else around them. And I've done that. You know, like, I like, the reason I know, well, one of the reasons I know that to be so true from my own experience is because I've done that. I blamed my parents for years. You know, they got divorced and they hate each other and they don't even communicate and everything has become so difficult and I have so much responsibility and all this fucking, I had to grow up so quickly. It's like, yeah, it's true. Now deal with it, bitch. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't regret, like, shit. Like, if I had a time machine and I could go back right now, dressed like this, and speak to my old self, like, when I was, like, 17 or, like, 21, like, there's a few times where I was going through a lot of stuff. If I could go back in particular moments, I'd just look at me and be like, bro, it's gonna be okay. Relax. I wouldn't come back and be like, you were fucking everything up and you need to change, and, like, because I know why it's all panned out like that, or at least I believe I know why. I'd legit just, like, show up as a ghost and be like, bro, just take a chill pill, everything's gonna be okay. And, like, that would help. Like, I know that would help. Like, the old me would be like, apart from freaking out because you're seeing your future self, you'd be like, what do you mean? Like, I know for a fact I would be like, oh, thank fuck. Because I didn't believe it. I didn't have any hope that I thought everything was going to be shit, you know? And I just didn't have anyone in my life that's like, look, as long as you don't be a bitch about it, like, everything's going to be fine, you know? Like, it's going to be okay, like. That's, like, really all I needed. And that's what Owen gave me. Because it wasn't like, you're crazy, everything's going to be fine. It was that you're not the only one and everything's going to be fine, you know? That's what I think he's provided for so many people. Is a lot of us just needed someone to acknowledge that people like us aren't crazy. You know, just because I fucking say what's true doesn't make me an asshole, and I just because I have prejudices against people I should have prejudices against doesn't make me a bad person. Do you know what I mean? It's like when people are lying and people are deceiving, and like, you know, you should call it out. Are they gonna like it? No. Do you make a lot of enemies in the process? Yes. Like, is it the right thing to do? Definitely. Like, it's just so funny to me.
Is it a new world, or will it consume us all?
Oh, Jesus. That was a stinky one. Need more water. Oh, my coffee's gone. Oh, God. Dark turkey, tubers, wild rice, celery, carrots, onions, chopped kale, cream of celery soup, chicken broth. Man, all that sounds delicious. That sounds so good. Making me hungry, nigga. We had a fantastic time drinking mild beers and eating small serves of everything. Do you know, that's one of my favourite forms of, like, what's it, like to, a way to consume food is, like, one of my like, we did, the female and I did this, a few times when we were in France with, Juju LeCuber. Shout out to Juju, she's a fucking absolute awesome person. Had such a good time over there with her. Like, she's a fantastic host, and the food was incredible. The alcohol was fucking homemade and, like, absolutely incredible. But when you have the option and the resources and the forward thinking, you have, like, homemade alcohol of various, like, you got your ciders and your meads and your wines and your cognacs and liqueurs and all this stuff. Like, you got homemade alcohol, homemade like salted meats, and, you know, like, market bought, like, fucking cheese, and, like, you know, fucking like things like berries and shit, like stuff you can just pick up and eat. That's one of my favorite, like, ways of eating, is just everybody around a big table full of finger food, and, like, just sipping something like, you know, like an apple cider fucking wine or some shit like that, like, or like a schnapps or something, like, you know. It's like, while I do agree that, like, obviously alcoholism is bad, and consuming too much alcohol on the regular is bad, but it's like, it's the same as everything, you know. Too much of anything, even a good thing, is a bad thing. That's why it's called too much. It's, like, inherent in the way you describe it. Too much of something is that. It's too much, you know? Thine cup overfloweth. Take it easy, nigga. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, just chuck a bit out, like, you know? Yeah, jump jets are boss. They're just so fucking... There's so many things about them that are cool to me, you know? And it's not, like... It's not the same cool as, like, something like Warhammer, where it's, like, quite nerdy, you know? There's something very masculine cool about weapons of war. Yes, they're terrifying. Yes, the things that they do are fucking violent and horrific and shit, like... But they're so fucking cool. Like, because if you think about it, it's like, if you see a jet do what it's supposed to do, a part of you would be like, oh my god, those poor people. Do you know what I mean? But, like, there's a part of you that's like, oh my god, that was awesome! Like, it's so fucked up, like... Painting goo goo. Goo goo. Goo goo. Like the first time I seen like in a movie or some shit, what the Harrier jump ship could do, where it could hover in place and still like fire guns and stuff. Like I was just like, oh my god, it's a jet, but it's a helicopter at the same time. Oh my god, like it's stuff like that. Like, you know, that's why I loved Mech Warrior so much when I was growing up. The concept of like a 200-foot tall robot that is essentially like, or it's not even a robot, it's a machine like that you drive. Like that's what mechs are. It's like there's a pilot, there's a guy in it piloting this thing, and it's like it may as well be a 200-foot tall tank or moving weapon platform. It's got missiles, lasers, giant autocannons, all this shit, like, you know. And then they had like some really like out there weapons, like well, personally, I don't think the idea of a particle projection cannon or a fucking some kind of weapon based off of electrostatics, like, I don't think those are out there ideas. I think that makes total sense. I think you can make a cannon that like literally fires bolts of lightning. Like, that makes sense to me. I think that's doable. Whether or not you could accurately dictate where it's going to make contact is another thing. I don't know enough about physics and shit to dictate, like, to, you know, question that accurately. But like, you could totally create something that just emits strong, you know, random bolts of lightning. Like, just like, Jim, you're gonna hold on to this box and point it at the enemy. Like, yes, sir. It's just like you're fucking crazy. I think that's one of the reasons why I decided, like, a long time ago that I would just be honest, you know, about as like I said, like, too much of anything is like, you can be too honest, you know, you can be too honest in a given scenario, like, you know, you could say something at a funeral or a wedding that, like, you know, may be true, but you shouldn't have said. Like, you know what I mean? There are times to not be 100% honest, like. But, like, most of the time, I'm, like, as honest as I possibly can be. Like, I'm as honest as I want to be. I want to be honest. People like, you know, people appreciate it when you're real with them, like, most of the time. But, like, that's what I think is funny about, like, war and stuff, like, where it's like, yes, there's guys that come back, like, traumatized and shit. But, like, there's plenty of guys out there that just, like, love killing people. You know what I mean? Like, there's guys out there that are like, it's great. It's like, you know, you have an enemy combatant, like the way they word things and all, like, do you know what I mean? Like, the opponent, the enemy, like the combatant, like, do you know what I mean? It just becomes it's the hot. It's like the, you know, like, you have the difference between everyday life and then like something like the UFC, where like you're probably not going to die, but you're using your free will to engage in something where you're going to experience potential long-lasting damage, you know, to your person. Well, like, war is just the next thing. You are consenting to possible death, right? Well, there's guys who are totally okay with, like, death, and, like, they could die at any moment, but they're so good at killing, they live for a really long time and kill a lot of people, and they're really good at it, and they really like their job. Do you know what I mean? But that's why it makes total sense that, like, you have all these poor unfortunate bastards who, like, get involved in war for certain reasons and then end up traumatized messes, you know? Like, it was probably a good thing that I never end up, you know, like, getting into the military or something, because I wanted to be a sniper. You know, which is like a killer's attitude. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, why would I be in the conflict? I can just shoot him from here. Like, that's a killer. That's a bit psycho. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, why would I risk death when I could just kill him from way over here? Like, you know what I mean? Like, one bullet and I can stop all of this. Like, I wanted to be that guy. I would, like, so you want me to sneak into enemy territory, post myself up on a hill, and kill the guy in the pretty hat, so that all of these guys don't have to die over the next 6 months. Okay, I'll do it. And yeah, it'd be fucking terrifying and scary and, like, going in on your own and shit, like, even if you did have a few boys with you, like, but it would be really exciting and cool and fun, and if you did make the shot and you did kill him, and like that did have a real intense impact on like cutting the head off the snake and shit, like, and should I like, why the fuck not? Like, you know, it's probably just as well that nobody's ever put a gun in my hands, like, you know. It's like, you're telling me if I kill that nigga, like, all these people will be okay? Like, yeah, like, and don't get me wrong, I can smell the Faustian deal a mile away with that one, like, oh, you just have to kill this one guy. Like, I get it. That's why I stayed away from it. PEINTEINGU. Oh. Sip, sip. Gosh. Despite all my bitching, I am grateful I can experience PEINTEINGU on the other side of the realm with a bunch of legends. Oh, bring yourself much honor with that comment. A10 Warthog, bro. Yeah, but like that's a different thing. But like, yeah, I completely agree. Like the AC 130 and all, like, where it's like, that's like a fucking bunch of guns on a big aircraft that's like designed, like, don't get me wrong, they're cool as fuck, like, you know. Like, the first time they brought something like that in the Call of Duty, and I was like, hold on, I'm in a plane like miles above the battlefield, just raining lead on these guys. Like, it's intense. And the perspective they gave you in the video games was like fucking intense. Like, you'd just see this tiny plane, you'd just be like, oh, there it is, and then all of a sudden you'd hear like, and then the whole building would just go boom, like, you know, like 10 is getting taken out in one go and all, like, and like the 15mm like auto cannon all the way up to the 150 mil cannon. So the thing's just like flanking the battlefield at like a tens of thousands of feet in the air, just going like bang, bump, 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 boom. Like, it's just like, fuck that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's it. Like, that's the type of thing where I'm like, what? That's not honorable. There's no honor in that. Like, do you know what I mean? And like, you could totally argue there's no honor in sniping. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what I mean. Like, you have to be real. You have to just tell the truth. It's like, I don't think there's like any honor in modern combat. Like, in most cases, you know, including my favorite form of modern combat, which is like sniping. Do you know what I mean? Like the least amount of death necessary. Do you know? Like, if you have like, it's like targets, just like one bullet, one kill, clean, surgical. Do you know what I mean? As much of an awesome spectacle as it can be, I detest inaccuracies. Do you know what I mean? And that's what, like, things like cluster bombs and flamethrowers and fire bombs and like fucking, you know, Vulcan cannons from a distance that just spray lead all over an area. Like, it's just, some of the weapons like are just like, just guaranteed mass death. Like, the idea that you could use some of these weapons in modern combat and avoid collateral is retarded. Do you know what I mean? Like, even with those fucking, like, you know, oh, we're just going to have a Predator drone missile strike this area. It's like, it's so disingenuous. It's so, like, you know, it is cynically hilarious in a really dark way. The way we're like, we're bringing liberty to the oppressed people across the globe. And then you actually see what they do. And what they actually do is they just fucking ventilate places. Just reduce places to sand and despair. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, you are now free to be dead. Like, you know what I mean? It's just so fucked up. Like, the A10 crushes. Like, yeah, it does, but is it a good thing that it crushes that hard? Where in France was that? I went to Normandy. Tank killer. But like, even like, bro, like, think of that term, tank killer. You're not killing a tank. You're killing like 4 or 5 dudes in a tank. You're destroying a tank. But you're killing like 5 guys with like wives and families and like memories, and like that each one of them was a baby at one point. And you just like blew them to smithereens, or like, you know, some of them might have like initially just gotten some shrapnel, but then they like burn alive. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like it is both things, and that's what's crazy about it. Is like, you'll watch, like, you'll see a tank and be like, oh man, here comes the A10, and it's like, bum, 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 bum. And you're just like, holy shit, that was intense. Could you imagine how intense it is being the fucking poor unfortunate group of bastards in the tank that you just killed? It's like, oh, we killed the tank. You didn't kill the tank. You murdered. Well, you didn't murder, because it's like mutually assured destruction. Like, you know, I know there's rules of engagement, so it's not classed as murder. Like, you know, all that shit. Like, but like, come on, like, you destroyed a tank, and in the process, murked 5 guys with like potentially with like, you know, fucking a wife and children and shit. Like, you know, who's there for the same reason you are, just on the opposite side of the game. And like, I don't think there should be. I don't think there's a moral justification for mass death unless it's just men and it's upfront and like upfront personal melee combat. I think that's the only way you actually karmically can get away with that. Is if all the boys in the village agree to go fight all the other boys in the village over something, whether it be resources or jurisdiction, or like, though, like a member of their village raped and murdered a few members of your village, and you guys are like, well, you're either gonna pay that back in some way, or like, we're gonna take our ounce of flesh from you and shit. Like, because when it comes to that scenario, it's not like you guys can just let that go. As a community. Do you know what I mean? Because then other communities will see your community as the community that just lets shit happen. You know? It's like, oh, we just brushed that one off. No. There must be repercussions. The other communities must know that you cannot fuck with your community. You know? But it's like, that's why dueling's okay. It's like 2 guys are like, fuck you. Well, fuck you too. And one of them takes out a saber, and then the other one takes out a saber, and then everyone stands there and goes, all right, off you go. And what happens, you know? But like, the whole modern combat thing, and I'm not just talking about the last 50, 80 years. I'm talking about the second the gun was invented. Arguably the second the bow or sling was invented. Do you know what I mean? Like, you could argue that if you're in a battlefield area where people are fighting to the death for any reason, you could argue that, like, you've basically consented to potentially being killed by a random arrow or whatever, right? But I would argue that, like, if a group of people have come to an area and consented to fight, then, like, there should be honor involved. But that's also where you get to what I've talked about on the stream before, where it's like, how do you engage with an enemy when they have no honor? You know, like, what if your community is just like chilling, producing, being good, true, and beautiful, and a bunch of fucking psychopaths who don't want to farm and don't want to do all this shit, you know, like a horde of fucking whatever. They just like show up and try and murder all you and take your shit. What are you gonna do then? Are you gonna like, you know, cling to your moral high ground as you all get butchered by these fucking lunatics? You have to ask yourself those questions, like, do you know what I mean? Like, of course you're gonna fucking make a bow and a sling and like throw rocks at them from fucking behind your walls and all, and then battlefield tactics develop over time depending on what works or what doesn't work and all this shit. But a lot of times honor goes out the fucking window real quick, you know? Fucking like talking about honor like in certain scenarios is a fucking really retarded thing to do, like, you know. And this is a Japanese man telling you this. I'm kind of that way with Moonies. Like, it would be cordial and polite. Did you meant to say normies? But we're not really close friends, you know. Like, I don't trust your judgment on anything. Yeah, like, those are the type of the people that, like, when they behave a certain way in my environment or around me, I'm like, okay, like, because I judge people by their choices. So if I witness a situation and somebody makes a decision or chooses to do something or be a certain way, I'm like, okay, so you'll do that in this scenario. So the likelihood of you doing X in another scenario is quite high. Right, I'm not trusting you with a damn thing. Like, that's how I work, like. Juju is a sweetheart and a true legend. She's fucking awesome. Antonio! Your name is still Antonio. Welcome to Paintingu. The one thing I miss about my parents' house was how close their house was to an airbase. Didn't have to pay to see the air shows when they had them. Wow. I'd say that was really cool. In certain ways, though. I'd say in other ways, that was a fucking absolute pain in the ass to live beside. Thunder cannon, yeah! Oh, did the painting arrive? Did it? Your painting arrived? Awesome. I hope you're happy, bro. I hope you're happy with it. It will discharge when you point in rangs of a grounded object and more range. In range of a grounded object. And the more range you get, the higher the voltage will be. Yeah, like, that's how I've always imagined it working, like that, where it's like if you knew how to create a ground point or a contact point between you, the weapon and the target, then it would just be an instantaneous lightning bolt coming out of the gun to the enemy. But it's how do you make that connection, you know? So like you look at tasers and it's like they literally fire a wire, but like I'd say there's a way of doing that wirelessly. I'm almost sure you could do that wirelessly. It just like feels right that you would be able to do that wirelessly. You like the colours? Awesome. That's like kind of my thing. I like in terms of my symmetricals and like the other paintings that I do. I fucking love contrasting colours. Like I'll show you this is the one I'm working on at the moment. A lot of work still on this, but that's the one I'm working on at the moment. And like I want it to be like, you know, there's going to be like different tones of grey and different tones of blue and shit like that, and I'll probably slap a bit of white on, you know, at some point to like really make certain parts pop and shit. But that's what I like. That's what I love and I'm passionate about creating. Is like I want to paint something that when somebody looks at it, they're just like, "Whoa, what is that?" You know, like that's what my vibe is like. Cruise ships have massive sound cannons to deter potential pirates. I didn't know they had those. That's awesome. Makes sense though. and then a suicide drone spots you. Like, fuck. I don't like this shit that this shit that can happen to you in modern combat is just so dishonorable. There's no like, you know, oh well, he died well for his country. It's like, what? Because him and his buddies were in a Humvee patrolling an area and a fucking IED went off and they all got fucking ripped apart by shrapnel and shit, like, in an instant. Like, that's an honourable death. Like, no, it's fucking not. You just got blown apart in a foreign country with, like, you know, it's just like, that never appealed to me. Like, that's why I want, like, that's like, at a young age, like, I remember going to, like, an army convention with my school. I think I was, like, fucking 15 or 14, and I walked straight up, and they had, like, loads of guns on the thing and all. I got given out to it because I picked one up and started, like, playing with it, like, do you know what I mean? I, like, pulled the bolt back and shit, like, I was like, whoa, and, like, inspecting it, and he was like, don't do that! And I was like, why would you display a loaded weapon? Like, you're gonna get mad at me for, like, being curious about the thing you have on display? You fucking bunch of retards. Like, the experience totally turned me off. Like, they had a lot of guns on display on a safety wire, so you couldn't, like, just pick them up and walk away. And I picked one up and started, like, just, like, looking down the sights, and like, I didn't start pointing it around at anybody, but I, like, you know, looked at the ground and, like, pulled the bolt back and was like, this feels nice, you know, like, it's a real gun. And like, he fucking freaked at me, like, he panicked, like, and he knows it's not loaded, like, I was like, these people are a fucking farce, like, but that's like, the idea of defending my homeland from an enemy always seemed like a noble thing to me. You know, if you have an invading force, it's like, yeah, get on the wall, shoot them, you know? That seems like an honourable, noble thing, to defend your homeland. But it's not what it's about, is it? For the most part, like, all these armies and fucking National Guard and all this fucking shit, like, it's all just used for loads of different things. Like, you know, like, they fucking experiment on soldiers and shit with the vaccines and shit. Like, they'll have you patrolling shit just to, like, look, you know, like, intimidating and stuff. Personally, I have no time for it. I know certain military branches are necessary, you know, to keep a country, like, a country, you know? But, like, so much of the stuff that happens for the past, like, couple of 100 years odd, it's just geopolitical fucking, you know, it's bureaucracy at its worst. It's just a bunch of con men profiting off of death. It's disgusting. A man who loses his son or father from war does not have the tendency to maintain honor. See red. Yeah, like, you know, there's very little, like, you can, like, positive that you can take from it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and there's all these schools of thought and all these ideologies that accept war as, like, a necessary thing and all this shit. Like, I don't think so. I think if you had, like, a moral enough society, you would only have to defend it. Like, why go conquering? What necessary thing exists that requires you to go out and conquer others? You know? Even the Viking excuse of, like, oh, we can't farm, our land is shit. No, you just don't know how to farm on your land, or you're not willing to just move to a different place and try and, like, set up your own thing in a non-violent way. You know, you show up on a fucking beach and are like, right, we're here now, fucking gives all your shit. Like, and even, like, I know there was Vikings that did it that way. Like, they showed up in an area and they were like, you know, bunch of lads on horses be like, who are you? What are you doing here? This is our land. And it's like, whoa. We just want to farm. Relax. We'll pay taxes. We'll give you some of our yield from our crop. Just leave us the fuck alone. We're not here to start shit. You know, that happened too. Happens all the fucking time, like. There are people who find themselves in a scenario where they need to move from where they are. You know, and, like, most of them don't want to fucking fuck with anyone, like. But it's always the same. It's always, like, spiritual and intellectual weakness leads, like, pretty much like sin. Like, you could boil it down to just like something as fundamental as that. It's like sin leads to bad shit. But like, it's not like everyone's gonna magically just like stop sinning, you know? But it's also not useful to just have an endless amount of debate and exposition over things we already fucking know. You know? Getting into the weeds and like hours and hours, days, weeks, months, years of like pages and pages of just like rhetoric and dialectic and like and all this, like, you know, trying to make sense of it in a communicative way, where it's like, why don't we just fucking do something about it, you know? And I'm not saying do something about it and worry about the consequences later. I'm saying make a decision. Don't just sit around talking about how bad it is, or how good it is, or how bad it could be if, or how good it could be if. Do something, please. Watch Blackadder for fighting. I fucking love Blackadder. Blackadder is so fucking funny. What was that nigga's name? Fucking oh, what was that chap's name? The one that Hugh Laurie played. I loved him. His character was so brilliant. I can't fucking remember his name. So fucking funny though. Blackadder's one of, like, Blackadder is an excellent. Blackadder and Faulty Towers are the best, in my opinion, the best examples of like peak British humor. They are so fucking funny, and like the acting's really good and shit. Like, you know, it's fucking proper comedy. Because you cocked the weapon. Just like Elf's in his own realm. I think it's hilarious. I can't tell. Well, like, Elf was talking to 2 Acre and D-Bear a while ago, but now I think he's talking to himself. I can't tell. Just get away from my library. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, no. Get the bitch wet. Still got paint on her. Painting, goo, 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 goo. Painting, goo, 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 goo. I always just want to watch like 80s horror flicks when I'm listening to this shit, like, you know? Fucking love it. I don't want to make those wings bigger on that one. Do, 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 do. Painting, goo, goo. I don't know when I'll do it, but I'm gonna learn a few like sea chanties or some shit. You sit here and be like, whoa! nearly time for Metalingu or Metalu. I think Metalingu is funnier. Oh, painting goo goo. Painting goo goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Do, 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 do. Hugh Laurie played Daft George. No, what was the other one? What was he called? Fucking. Oh, they had a name like a wolf something or fucking. Uh. Oh, what was his fucking? Because like the princess like likes him or something. I can't like. Like his name's hilarious. Like when you hear his name, it's fucking hilarious. Like I know his name probably is George, but like there's like a second name or a title or something. Like can't remember. Like Rowan Atkinson, his newest one was pretty funny. Queenie in Blackadder was great. Yeah, she was fucking so funny. Like Man versus Bee. Let's check it out. Rowan Atkinson's hilarious. He's like, and didn't he like? He made like a big speech against like censorship and like the PC culture and all that. Like, he was like, he was basically defending like the idea of like comedy and like artistic truths and all this stuff. Like, he seemed pretty based, like That's the one. Yeah, fucking Flash Hard. Yeah, fucking. That's the fuck that. Yeah, Flash. Like, yeah. Oh, it was so fun. Oh, somebody says something to me, and it's like, oh, I can't remember, but it's like, bully, woof. Like, I can't, like, he just says some really funny shit, and like his delivery is so good that like it doesn't even matter that it doesn't necessarily make sense. Like, it's just so fucking good. Like, Flash, yeah, like, fucking, the chap's fucking hilarious. Okay, it's time for a bit of. Oh, do you know what? I'm gonna kick off Metalingu with my favorite song currently. Currently, this is my favorite song. Gillette can go fuck itself, you bunch of impudent little faggots. Oh, look at how pretty I am now that I've gotten rid of all my facial hair. Oh, do you need a nice, soft, cushioned blade, and all that cream and shit. Like, if I was going to shave, I'd do it with a fucking straight razor and some warm water. You fucking bitches. Fuck you, Dana, and fuck StreamYard. It's time for Metlingo. Oh, fuck, I love this song. Real good tune. force forever lead through spaces, drifting back. If I get the lyrics wrong, it's because I don't care. Not to go. Through crystal waters, need not to breathe. Restlessness recedes. My lover's eyes like fire, I'm a wind insect, you're a funeral pyre. Right through these wires, in hell and the gods grow tired. Of a pathway higher. No, I desire far beyond the path of reason. Take me back to Eden, take me back, Eden. Take me back to Eden. Got some set of lungs on him. It's blood when I wake up. No sleep, and makeup. Mainframe went down and I'm so grossed up. These are like cold cuts. I just don't trust. Paste up. What I have become, my lover's eyes like fire. I'm a wind insect, you're a funeral pyre. Right through these wires, hell and the gods grow tired. And the pathway higher. No, I desire. Right, it's time for all the missiles and the cannon fire and all the exciting stuff. And then I'm gonna put loads of blades and jewels on the Hello Kitty axe. Goes to show, does it not? And we don't idea what we've got till we lose it. Gillette, the worst a man can get. Keep us around. If we don't choose it. Support what you like or it goes away. Don't know what's got its teeth in me, but I'm about to bite back in anger. Have you ever gone out with your hair like that? Not like this, no. My hair used to be down to my arse though. Like my hair used to be like all the way down to my ass. I went to a barber's and got it cut, and it was 14 inches long. And like one of the women, I was like, "Is that 14 inches?" My lungs are like fire on a wind insect. You're a funeral pyre. I'm down by through these wires. In hell and the gods grow tired. Ah, it's kind of grey. It's not white. And a pathway higher. You know I desire. It's so good. That's such a good tune. I fucking love that tune. Hits so hard, bro. The end of that song hits so hard, bro. Some Punjab metal? Oh no. Well, yeah, you guys might like this. Although I don't really care if you do like it. I'm here beyond my time doing PEINTEINGU, and it wasn't even my plan. If you don't like it, you can fuck off. Shit's about to get real hard here, bro. And I don't mean in a sexual way.
Alright, do you guys want to do a little swap?
Get you fucking orgy off my screen, you desperate little ugly bitch.
About switching up teams for fun.
The only team you need to be on is the one that's gone. The gone team. The team people remember that used to be here but is no longer. That's the team you belong on. The team that's gone. My toilet is clean enough, I'll thank you very much. Are you implying that I'm some sort of a fucking heathen? Implying that I don't have a clean toilet? How dare you? These people have no honour. Punjab metal on PEINTEINGU. PEINTEINGU, goo, goo, PEINTEINGU, goo, goo, PEINTEINGU, goo, goo. PEINTEINGU, goo, PEINTEINGU, goo. Punjab metal. Punjabingu. Right. Celestial war chants, Japanese taiko drums. Where's my good metal? Where's the good metal? Oh, well, it's not metal, but I fucking love this song. This shit's good. This shit's good, yeah. Have you ever gone? Oh no, I already read that. Bangu your headzu. The only time you could ever say you had 14 inches. Kicks. I couldn't stop laughing. Like, she like braided it and then she cut it off, right? And she held it. And a woman like over there went, Is that a 14 incher? Because like it has to be a certain length to be sold as like a bit of a wig or whatever. And your one was just holding this thing. Like, I think we still have it. We never got around to giving it to the charity that we meant to give it to. So we just kept it in an envelope. And it was like, I'm fucking like, it's like you cut my tail off. Like, it's fucking so long. Like, I was quite proud of it. Like, I legit had I had a Ragnar braid. Like, I had a legit Viking braid, like, you know. But it gets very like, it becomes a pain in the ass trying to maintain it, like, you know. Oh. I know it's not metal, but I fucking love that. Oh yeah, totally sticking this on.
You know that necklace you left?
You know how much of a cunt you are? You know you and the bitch beside you on the fucking screen right now? Fucking doing an ad that I can't click out of on my fucking stream? You know how much of a cunt you are? Huh? Do you? You fucking blind bitch! You and that specky four-eyed bitch beside you. Fuck you. Fuck Maltesers. And fuck this other bitch. Who's this bitch? Maltesers and now it's Dreamies. Fuck you and your dreams, you cunt.
I really don't have a whole heck of a lot to say. This is just...
As far as I know, this is actually them playing this live in Ireland. I could be wrong. No, this isn't the Irish one. When they played in Ireland, he was wearing an Irish flag, I think.
In the crowd. Nice throw. You still missed.
This music makes me think of snakes being charmed out of baskets to bang their heads. That'd be a deadly video to it. Like, you know, the snakes getting charmed, but they're like doing this. Like, you never play ABBA. I'm out. Bag. Breathe me in. Breathe within. This is for you. Everything I have. This is for you. Take it from me. Right, some missiles, some smoke. Take it from me. Within me and forever. Within. I'm with you always, and I breathe me forever. Ah, the beautiful female has returned. How are you, my love? Okay. All right. I'm finishing up now in a few of you. Don't you worry. I'm almost done. After this song. The song beautiful. Did you? Was it like, what, Dove? Yeah.
Yeah, because I want to use the song really strong.
If you don't know who this is a band called The Sorrow, and like their first two albums are really fucking good. Oh, ha ha ha! Go make your female jokes while I'm not on stream. How dare you? That was a Coddington joke if I ever heard one.
We're having a chicken and pesto pasta now.
That sounds nice.
Big Fordu, welcome to PEINTEINGU.
Some of the flowers' petals should look like they're sewn back on to make him a badass daisy. He's actually a sunflower, but like that's a hilarious idea. I was gonna put some wounds in both of them, and then I was also gonna put like a few petals on the ground as if they'd been sliced or cut. But that's also hilarious. I love to go to a pantomime with you, haha, screaming behind you. Painting you is actually the sort of thing that could like end up being a pantomime, like, you know. I gotta have like the monkey stealing my brush and shit like that. It'd be fucking epic, man. Howard's voice is epic. Oh, I fucking love Kill Switch, man. They're so good. Do you shout at the TV as well? Often. Quite often. I'm like black like that. Like, I shout at the telly. For all sorts of reasons. The female's like, it's very annoying. Yeah, so you're a fucking hypocrite. She does it all the time. On my eye. I gotcha. I will to be. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo 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 goo. If you ask him what?
I was asking if this is the hairdresser.
A hairdresser's job? Like, what?
Yeah, this is the hairdresser.
Why? Because of your hair?
No. I just walked outside and then I forgot to look for a walk back here and the woman said, oh, hairdressers. She said I looked like a hairdresser.
That's a compliment.
I was just all black.
Yeah, but that's a compliment. How is that not a compliment? I think it's because you look nice. Is that not obvious? Right. I'm gonna leave it there.
This concludes today's PEINTEINGU. So for all you brothers and sisters, niggers and niggerettes, bears and bearlets, I bid you farewell till tomorrow. Same time, same place, same high-octane PEINTEINGU, and perhaps the beautiful female. In the meantime, be good, be true, and be beautiful. Rink in description to support PEINTEINGU, and rink also in description to buy my merchandise. I will see you tomorrow. God bless you.